All right, Shalom. We start off this lesson first and foremost. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our elders, apostles, great millstone who rule well and puts out 100% truth and truth sincerity. And Shalom to those for elects, haircuts, to four winds. Lord, in this lesson be edifying. The title of this lesson is going to be proving that the Israelites were scattered. Hey, the Israelites were scattered because what? Because we didn't follow those laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave us when we went to the land, and we started doing idol worship and started intermingling with the heathen, which that word mingle means to have fellowship with, and that's why the Lord scattered us. But I just got a couple precepts to prove that the Israelites were scattered. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64, and it says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." And that's right. We went off. We moved the Lord to wrath to the point where the Lord scattered the Israelites. He scattered his people from one end of the earth to the other. And they're serving gods that their fathers haven't known. Neither they have known to this day. You still have Israelites calling on Jesus Christ. You still have Israelites calling on Buddha and calling on Sheba and all these different gods, man. The next precept that I want to grab is Psalm 106. I'm going to start at verse 35. "Because they were mingled among the heathen and learned their works." And that word mingled means to have fellowship with. When we was in the land, we was not supposed to have fellowship with these heathen. The Lord created the Israelites holy or separate people. What makes us separate? We have these law, statutes, and commandments. Verse 36, "And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them." That's right. They served those other idols, which was a trap unto them. Yeah, they sacrificed their sons and daughters unto devils, which they still do to this day, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a-whoring with their own inventions. That's right. When you read Jeremiah 3, it says Israel played the harlot. Idol worship. We were serving everything and anything but Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 40, "Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them." That's right. The Lord gave us into the hand of our enemies, and our enemies are still ruling over us to this day, man. The Lord scattered us because we went off. We moved the Lord to wrath. We moved the Lord to anger. Another precept that I want to grab real quick. This is a milk precept. It's the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1. "James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahushai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting." This is furthermore proving that the Israelites were scattered. James is writing to the 12 tribes which were scattered abroad. And when you read that Deuteronomy, it says they were scattered from one end of the earth to the other. Next precept I want to grab is 1 Peter 1:1, "An apostle of Yahushua Mashiach to the strangers." And stranger means, as multiple definitions, but this one is, I'll grab it in the BLB. It is 1 Peter 1:1. And the NLT breaks it down perfectly too. "One who comes from a foreign country into a city or land to reside there by the side of the natives, a stranger, sojourning in a strange place." A foreigner, right? Weren't we scattered? So weren't we sojourning in a strange place? Weren't we foreigners to that place? And the NLT breaks it down perfectly. This letter is from Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach. "I'm writing to God's chosen people." Who's God's chosen people? The Israelites, who are living as foreigners in the provinces of Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Another precept that you could use to prove that too is Acts chapter 2. And there were, Acts chapter 2, verse 5, "And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven." And it says, "At the time there were devout Jews from every nation living in Jerusalem. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because they heard every man It's like it, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how we hear every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? They're out Jews. Hey, their homeland was Israel, but hey, they heard people speaking in different tongues. Aslaki, they heard people different. It's gonna explain. Verse 9. I'll read verse 8 again. And how we hear every man in our own tongue where we were born. And the NLT says they were amazed. They were completely amazed. How can this be? They exclaimed, these people are from Galilee, and yet we hear them speaking in our own native languages. All right. So these people were from Galilee, but they were speaking Hebrew. And everybody was confounded, like, how is this possible? Verse 9, Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia and Phrygia and Pamphylia and Egypt and in the parts of Libya, Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, visitors from Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes, Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of the power. And, just, further proving that, hey, our people were scattered. Our people were scattered. That's what it says, devout men. And so it lists you all the people from different places that they were scattered, but they came together. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was for the Pentecost. You gotta come to Jerusalem on the day of the Pentecost. Continuing on, the next precept that I had was proving that they were Israelites. That was pretty self-explanatory. Next precept I wanted to grab was another one, Ezekiel 36:19. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to the way and according to their doings I judged them. Who's the Lord only dealing with? Who only knows the Lord's judgments? The Israelites. And when they entered unto the heathen, whether they went, they profaned my holy name when they said to them, these are the people of the Lord and gone forth out of his land. But have pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel profaned. We profane the name of the Lord, serving different idols, doing all these things, The Lord created us to be separate from these people. We're supposed to be the example, Whether they went, therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus say the Lord, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for my name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know I am the Lord. Saith the heathen shall know I am Yahweh, and the Lord that power, when I shall be sanctified in your eyes when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I take you among the heathen and gather you out of all the countries and will bring you into your own land. Why is the Lord taking us from among the heathen and gathering us out of all countries and bringing us into our own land? Because we were scattered. The Israelites were scattered for the disobedience that they showed to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I got one more precept, and we're going to close out with this. And there shall come forth Salakia. I'm going to get to the point. Isaiah 11 and verse 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from the remnant of his people. Wow, the elect. From Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. Wow. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcast of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Once again, proving that the Israelites were scattered. And listing the reasons why we were scattered: for our disobedience, for us having fellowship with the heathen, being intermingled with them. The Israelites were scattered. Lord, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our elders, apostles, great millstone, root well, and push out 100% truth and truth, sincerity, and shalom to those for Lexia across the four winds. Until the next time, shalom.